Hey everyone, welcome back to Cartel Files. My name is Adrian and my job is to simplify laser design for you so you can start building your next project quicker. Before we jump into today's episode, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and to subscribe. It really helps out the channel and it ensures that we're able to make new and free content for you every week. So as we are coming up to Christmas, I thought this would be a great time to start looking at some Christmas tree ornaments. This one in particular is a design by Laser Blanks. You can find their designs on Etsy. So I really encourage you to go and have a look at their designs. This one was really cool, and I thought I would pick this one out because it has a few really cool features that I wanted to highlight here. The first one being it's quite an easy product to manufacture. It has layering, so there's different colors stacked on top of each other, which give it like a 3D effect. And it's able to be personalized by laser engraving this bottom piece here. So I really wanted to take this as inspiration, and what I've done is designed my own version here. I didn't want to just do a straight copy of what they've come up with, because obviously they've spent a lot of time getting their design really nice and cute. So if you like their design, please go and visit them on Etsy. But if you're here just for a tutorial on how to design something like this, you can find this design on cartelfiles.com. I'll have the original image that we're going to start designing this around, as well as the final vector file that you see here. Okay, so once again, Laser Blanks is the original designer. We are just basically using that as inspiration for our own design. All right, so first thing we need to do is start off with an image file. So I found this on Google. Basically, it is a royalty-free image, so it means that we could use it for commercial use. So go ahead, find something that you like, a design that you like, and import it into your artwork software. So right now it's a JPEG image, which means it is a pixel-based image. And what we want to do is convert this to a vector. Okay, so let me just make myself a little bit smaller and we can start working through the steps in order to get this into a vector format. So if we have a look here, I'll just zoom in on the image. You can see that the image is made up of this sort of thick outer black line that goes around the whole shape. Okay, but we're not able to cut a line like that. So what I want to do is convert this image, pixel-based image, into a vector file that we can cut out of different colored materials. If you have a look at the original, you can see that we've got a background, we've got a sort of whitish color for the main body, and then you've got a few other details here. So I want to make sure that I can separate those out and cut them out of different colored acrylic pieces. And the way that we're going to do that is by using this option up here, the trace bitmap tool. Okay, you could also go in and manually trace it out, but I think that's going to waste a lot of time. So the better way to do it is go up to the trace bitmap tool, and this time we're going to choose the centerline trace. In previous videos, I've shown you the outline trace tool, specifically the detailed logo option. But if I choose that option, what it's going to do is outline that thick black outline of the gingerbread man on both sides of the line. Let me show you what I mean. So let's first do the wrong way. So we're going to go to outline trace and click detailed logo, and we'll just leave it with the default settings and press OK. So now if I change the outline color to red and we remove any of the filling, you can see that what it's done is it's gone ahead and outlined all the different details, right, with a line that is on the outside of that black line as well as on the inside, so defining the shape of that line. And yes, we can use this, and yes, it would work. But you know, if the design is a lot more complex than this, then we could have issues. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back to our image. So just Control Z, going back to our original image. And instead of going to the outline trace, I'm going to choose centerline trace and click on line drawing. Okay, and we can hit OK. And now you see the difference. So now what it's done is it's gone ahead and created a center line or a single line that follows any of those black line paths. Okay, and now we can just use this as a simple cut line. So if I highlight this, change it to a red outline, okay, now this is basically ready for cutting. But let's fix this up, because the center outline tool is, it's not the best design tool, let's put it that way. You can see that, you know, the output is not that smooth, not that great. Okay, you can see here the hand is a bit wobbly in some sections. So I'd show you a quick way to sort of sort that out. So what I want to do is click on my design, and I first want to ungroup it. So when I ungroup it, you'll see on the right hand side in the objects panel that all the different elements, for example the mouth, the eyes, bow tie, etc., they've all been broken out into their own components, so we're able to edit them individually. And the first thing I want to do is just make this face a little bit nicer. I think the eyes are too far away and in general just too big. So I want to grab the eye and just pull it in a little bit, same on this side, and then grab the mouth and two eyes and just shrink that down by a tiny bit. And I think that just looks a little bit cuter. Before it kind of had a creepy sort of vibe to it. So now that's good, I'm happy with that. I want to come in here and just basically smooth out these lines. I think they're a bit too harsh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and click on the shape tool, and then I can click on the line. And here you can see that we've got multiple different nodes, okay? And we don't really need all these sharp nodes. So in some situations, for example on this line, I can just choose that node there and hit delete. Same as this one, hit delete, and now we have, you know, a much smoother line. We can do the same down here in this section here. I saw that there was a center node that we don't really need. We can delete that. This node, again, we probably don't need that, and it just, you know, it'll smooth things out. Another option we have is, you can see, like for example this node right here, it has these handles which cause it to be, you know, a very sharp point. I can choose that node, and then we can go up here and we can click on the smooth node option. So when you click that, you can see now that becomes a much smoother transition. And any point where I see where it's a bit, you know, a bit of a sharp intersection point, I'm just going to click that smooth node option. And you can do more than one at a time. That usually helps. A little bit on the hat and a bit on the top here. Smooth all those nodes out. We can probably just make that a little bit nicer by pulling that in. And we can basically just go around and do that and clean it all up. Now, one part of the design that I really want to bring your attention to is this part here, the hand. So if I click on that again, you can see these triangles here, which are sort of overlapping each other. Now, this is basically its own tiny little segment of line, and it's just placed all these different segments on top of each other. So what we can do is we can highlight these two arrows that are sort of sitting on top of each other. These are basically the start and end point of that line. And then we want to go up here and choose join two nodes. And when you click that, it'll then convert those two triangles into a single node. You can do that for all the remaining nodes here. And once you've done that, you can now just treat it as a normal node. So for example, this one, I don't need that. This one, I don't need that. That one, I don't need. And then we can come in here and we can say we want to smooth that node out. Same as these ones, smooth all those out. And that looks a lot cleaner and nicer. It also means your laser doesn't have to keep going back and forth while you're trying to cut that design out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll probably just fast forward this section and I'm going to clean up the rest of the design, and then I'll meet you back once that's done. All right, so I've spent a few minutes getting the design presentable. You can definitely spend more time than I did to get it perfect, but I think that'll be fine for illustrative purposes. So the next thing we want to do is we basically want to create a contour that encompasses the outside of this design. So what we can do is we can click on that outer curve, and then we can press Control and F9 on our keyboard, and this will bring up our contour option palette on the right hand side here. If you don't see this, you can go up to Effects, and then you can click on Contour here, okay? And that'll bring up that same line. So what I want to do now is create an offset from the outer edge of the design. So let's maybe choose something like 4 millimeters, and make sure that we have the outside contour selected, rounded corners, and then we can hit apply, and that'll create a nice contour around the outside of the design. Now what we need to do is break our curve apart. So right hand clicking on the outer contour, click on break contour apart. And then what we can do is head over to our virtual segment delete tool, okay, and just delete all these lines that we don't need. Okay, so that one, that one, that one, that one. Unfortunately, these went over the bow tie, but we can delete all of that. And we are left with our inner design and then the outer design that this will be stuck onto. Perfect. So now we can get as fancy as we like. What I want to do is place a box at the bottom here. Okay, and this will represent that section at the bottom here where we can personalize. If we have a look at this design, you can see we've put my name here. Okay, and so just sort of get that in line with the design and the size and shape that you like. I always like to add a bit of a corner radius to it, so maybe a 2 millimeter corner radius. That'll just break that edge up. And now what I want to do is also apply a contour to that. And we want to make sure that the contour overlaps the contour that we created for the gingerbread man. So now that this is overlapping, we can use the virtual segment delete tool to delete all these lines that we don't need. Okay, and we just want to, we need to ensure that we break this curve apart first. So right hand click on the curve that's around the box and click on break contour apart. Now we can delete that line there and it'll become all one piece. Then the last step is we just want to add a way to connect this to our Christmas tree. Okay, so normally I would add a circle that's about 4 millimeters in diameter. And I would just bring that sort of close to the top here, maybe even touching that outer contour. We can create a contour from there. Right hand click that contour, break curve apart. Okay, And then we can just delete all the lines that we don't need, which is going to be these ones here. And we're pretty much done. There's your design ready to go. Okay, you can then personalize this with every person of the family's name, so Adrian and so forth. And you can mix and match different colors depending on if it's a boy or a girl or whatever else you want to do. So to give you a bit of a visual representation, we can use the Smart Fill tool here. Okay, and we can choose different sections of the design and fill them in with a different color, just so you get a, I guess, a visual representation of what the final product would look like. So we could fill in the hat with red, and then we can come in here and we can choose a more browny color, or like a pinky color maybe, to fill in the gingerbread man. Okay, and we probably need red as well for the bow tie, and we can leave everything else white. We can choose a more browny color for the background. There you go. And now we can put some text in this field here. Again, please make sure you spend a bit more time in order to get your design nice. And then lastly, we can just remove all that outline color, and that gives you a good representation of what this could look like. So as per usual, please give this video a thumbs up if you've learnt something. Hit subscribe so you get notified every time we make a new video. And if you want to download this design, it'll be available at cartelfiles.com. We're going to continue the laser cut Christmas ornament series for as long as we can. So if you really like these videos, please leave some ideas down in the comments below, and maybe we can design it next time. Thank you.